I turned the boost down a little bit, see if it hooks in second gear. God, this fucking suspension sucks. If there's any dip in the road or anything, this thing gets fucking scary. How's it going, YouTube? Today we're going to be working on the Mustang again, and I finally got some coil springs for it so we can ditch these lowering springs and hopefully have the car work a little better and have it not be bottoming out as much. I talked to a few guys and I got stock rear springs with one coil cut off, and then I got stock, I think they're V8 springs for the front, but still better than what I got probably. I also talked to another guy that's big into Fox bodies and whatnot. His car's set up pretty good, and he told me that the factory struts are probably limiting too. So I might be picking up a set of Lakewood drag shocks for the rear at least, and then he's got a set of 70/30s for the front, whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but I think it pretty much just makes the strut or shock a little stiffer, so you don't get as much absorption into the suspension and you just put it straight to the ground. That's kind of the goal here. You want to have it as stiff as possible without losing traction. So I just got the new coil springs installed and pretty much just took the jack on the rear end and jacked up the rear end and removed the rear shocks from here, and then lowered the jack down, and that allowed the rear end to come down far enough to take the old springs out and put the new springs in. My old springs are over here. And the length difference from the factory shocks, or the factory coil springs, to these, the factory coil springs were maybe an inch taller on the total overall length, but they do have one coil cut off. But the amount of coils that it had, you know, through the whole thing was a lot more, which should stiffen the car up pretty decent. I also noticed that these shocks here are wasted. They're leaking a bunch, and they're extremely soft. Like, I literally can take no effort at all to push these shocks in. I also found my vibration in the car, which is pretty cool. When the suspension would bounce, because the suspension was so soft, the car would actually bounce when I launched it and hit gears and stuff like that, that the drive shaft was actually hitting on the safety loop. And one of the passes, I have a cell phone video that I posted on Facebook. One of the passes, you can actually see the drive shaft spark underneath the car, and it shoots sparks because the drive shaft was hitting on the safety loop that I made. So we just got these springs. I swapped out the lowering springs. I think they're just eBay cheap lowering springs for the factory 5-liter rear coil springs with one coil cut off. That's what I got in here now. And I also swapped out the factory shocks for some Lakewood drag racing shocks. I think they're just like a stiffer valving or something. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we're gonna go do some pulls and kind of see how the car, if it feels any different or not, and go from there. Okay, so it's like probably 58 to 60 degrees out right now, so the car's definitely up on power, I think. That was literally just hazing the tires at like a 60 roll with the slicks on. It was spinning into third gear there with the slicks, and it's still really rich. I added fuel back in it after the track because it got colder. Usually when it gets colder out, the car is going to make more horsepower, so it's going to need more fuel added too. So I chucked 5% back in it, and it's like an 11:0 air-fuel ratio, which I'm I gonna leave. This motor's starting to smoke from the valve covers. That's getting kind of bad. It started smoking after the track day, the last track day. Oh boy, we might have a race. You coming, bro? Got some racing going on right now, I think. What? Right? All in third gear and I still walked him. I didn't walk him, but he jumped on me really hard. But I reeled his ass in really quick. Whew. I think those cars make like 600 factory, and it sounded like he's got exhaust or something on it. I don't know. But money can't always buy you the race, buddy. Whatever, it's all in good fun anyway. I like street racing. And I like track racing. I like racing in general, so that's all that matters, I guess. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. Right now it's getting kind of dark out, but we just raced that GT500, and he jumped a good car and a half on me before I even smacked the pedal to the floor. And as soon as my car hit full boost, it blew the tires off, and I grabbed third, and I literally was like sideways as I went past him, so that was fun. And the suspension definitely seems like the car's planted better. It doesn't feel like it's not bouncing as much as it was. With the lowering springs on, it was bouncing like crazy. And I think these shocks and springs definitely help me out. I just hope I can still hold good traction at the track with, you know, having it be a little bit stiffer. Maybe we'll be able to pull the wheels up off the ground finally. I have no idea, but we'll try her out on Friday and see if this thing is going to make a 9-second pass or not. The motor, like I said, is definitely hurt now. It's smoking out of the valve covers pretty good, so I definitely have a cracked ring or something. One of the pistons is definitely hurt because it's smoking pretty good out of the valve covers and whatnot. But we got one more track day left, and I really don't feel like thrashing a piston in this thing in less than like 48 hours. So we're just going to send it, and hopefully all works out and this thing holds together for one more track day, and then we can do a whole nother build series on this car over the winter. But yeah, stay tuned, look forward to the next video, guys. I have a lot of stuff coming up here that I can film on the channel, so definitely subscribe if you are new, and like the video if you enjoy this content, and thank you for watching. It means a lot.